A woman of immense talent and strong will, shadowed by the overarching terrible history of a corrupt family legacy. That is the story of the Drift Knight Eula, a knight who is often left to the distaste of other people just because of an identity that she has absolutely no control of. Hello everyone, I am Sakai Samurai, your guide in the vast world of Vat, and today we take on the challenging life of Eula, analyzing her extremely strict and controlling childhood, and taking the time to look at the massive obstacles that she has had to overcome in order for her to mature into the woman that she is today. Many of this will be coming from what we have learned from hearsay of various NPCs and what we can gather from her story quest, as well as the stories that are given to us by leveling up her friendship. Either way everyone, let's begin. It's not an uncommon sight to see the people of Monstadt often look down upon Eula, with many turning their head to the sheer mentioning of her name, refusing to offer store services or to even acknowledge her presence. Some go as far as to even keep close tabs on her to ensure that she doesn't break the law or to harm others. A title such as this will belong to a fearsome criminal or villain. Yet Eula is as vigilant as they come, and her fierce devotion for her love for the city of Monstadt burns brighter than the distaste that any of the commoners could ever have for her. But why has it come to this? And why must Eula live with such a bad image? Well, it all stems off of the tyrannical history of the clan of Lawrence. A once powerful clan of ancient Monstadt, they helped usher in a much more organized community for the newly freed people from the ancient storm god known as Decabrian, who was struck down by Barbados during the times of his terrifying rule over the Windy City. And while at first the Lawrence clan was seen as warriors and heroes, they would soon grow into becoming heinous, corrupt tyrants with a lust for power, banning the worship of Barbados entirely and destroying his statues and prayer sites as well in the process. They would go as far as to house gladiator arenas where people would spill blood simply to bring the laughter and approval of the House of Lawrence, and even participated in the heinous acts of slavery. In fact, it was a slave named Vanessa that would go on to form her rebellion against the clan, and with the help of Barbados, they had succeeded in putting an end to their terrible rule. On that day, the Lawrence clan was exiled from Monstadt entirely, with their royal family shamed and their strong legacy now tarnished by the taste of defeat. All these years later, that hatred still boils from both sides, with Monstadt seeing the family's crimes as unforgivable, and with the clan's members still holding on to a burning grudge against the city, claiming that their people had betrayed them. Although the times have changed, the strict and horribly controlling nature of being a royal family has yet to disappear, where the children of this noble family would be subject to immense amounts of proper training on class and etiquette. They were the descendants of a powerful and mighty clan, and they were going to properly act like it. Eula will be subjected to many traditional practices of a noble family, with her being drilled into becoming a perfect woman at every step of the way. There was no sense of pride or self-worth here. That would be reserved towards honoring the family name instead. She was not allowed to play and meet other children who were not from the royal family, and was often grounded and restricted to her bedroom if she were to break even the smallest of rules. Her childhood would be shaped around the quote-unquote noble obligations that she had as a Lawrence, where she must master the arts of nobility so that the rest of the world would see the strength that still burned in their family's lineage. And more importantly, for when that fateful day would come again, where the House of Lawrence would finally rule once more. Eula will be taught how to cook and clean to the definition of perfection, and although Eula's cooking is absolutely divine, and that her meals are always perfectly correct, she actually can't stand cooking. Not that she hates the process, but because of the memories in the past, and believes that cooking etiquette was just another one of the many worthless attempts at preserving outdated laws of aristocracy. In fact, her culinary arts teacher is described by her to be dreadfully strict, and would often scold her and discipline her over any miscalculations that she would make in her meals. It could be 2 grains of sugar that was often what he had told her, and she would immediately be met with the fierceness of her teacher. There is few things in her childhood that she actually still enjoys today in fondness, with one of those being the beautiful art of dancing. Dancing is the second most well-respected trait seen by the aristocrats, and is seen as cherishing the beauty of the human form, and is referred to as the second soul, with one dance in particular being known as the Dance of Sacrifice, and is a powerful dance, and has been used far before the clans of Monstadt were even founded. This elegant dance is reserved for only the most illustrious families, and is used as a majestic tool to showcase their heritage and their nobility. And because of its strength and immense level of dedication to perfect it, Eula, being the eldest daughter, would train continuously, as the eldest daughter would play the most important act in the signature dance. Eula's family would hire the most prestigious dancers that money could buy to tutor her, and while the dance recitals were often grueling and long, and would often leave her feet bleeding and aching for days, she still cherished these moments. And while many of her family's teachings would leave terrible memories on her, dancing would be her escape, and would be her tool at finding peace from the harsh and very demanding requirements that she had in her life. Now that Eula is older, she has seems to have put much of her past behind her. However, with her being the Spindrift Knight, her incredible talents in the art is often flawlessly displayed in combat, with her movement and spins being full of grace and elegance, as if you were watching a master performance at work. Once that she was old enough to go off on her own, she would inevitably make her way back to Monstadt, where she would be met with the stern look of its inhabitants, with many stores refusing to even serve her food, leaving to poor Eula to learn how to scavenge and survive in the wilderness for her to be able to even see the next day. It wasn't until she would go on to meet Amber that she could properly call someone her friend, and the two would do everything together. And with Amber's loving and cheerful attitude, Eula would be able to actually buy items without being scalded. Well, as long as she was present with her anyways. Although Eula's attitude still needed a lot of work, with much of her mannerisms and way of thinking often getting her in trouble and failing to earn anyone's trust.
Oh, so that's what you think of me? Yet another transgression to avenge.
Her snooty attitude and isolationist mindset would come to an end thanks to the teaching of Amber's grandfather, with him molding Eula into a much more rounded and open-minded person, and slowly navigating away from some of the bad thinking skills that she had acquired from her years of nobility, and more than likely is the main reason that persuaded her into becoming a knight. This decision was met with harsh backlash, not only from the people of Monstadt, but also from her family, with even characters reaching out to her claiming that she was a traitor, or that she could possibly work as a saboteur to aid in bringing down the Knights of Favonius. And while Eula still sees them as her family and cherishes on what little good that's left in them, she would strike them down herself if they were to ever try and threaten the safety of Monstadt. And that was the harsh yet elegant history of Eula, a woman who has indeed been through a lot in her life, but has nonetheless grown into a fantastic character. Guys, her lore is just absolutely amazing, and if you want to see even more about her, such as her friendship with Amber, or maybe going a little bit more in depth about Amber's grandfather, feel free to tell me down in the comments if you'd like to see more. I hope you all enjoyed today's video, with new lore content arriving on my channel every week, and plenty of new characters and guides to cover in the future. I hope that you will stick around with me to see what's next. If you liked what you saw, please give me a like, and if you want to see even more from me, make sure to subscribe. Regardless everyone, I shall see you all in the next video. Till next time, Samurai.